Hi, this is Rachelle with Live in Vibrancy, and today I want to talk about what the actual work is with manifesting. So sometimes people will look at it like they're baking a cake, which it's definitely not. So there's no like series of steps that you go through. And so the reason I talk about this is because this has to be one of the number one reasons I see people get frustrated or feel like maybe it's not working. And it's because maybe there are some misconceptions about what it actually is. So I always like to say that manifesting isn't a doing process, it's a feeling process. And the reason I say this is because there's a feeling to having something. There is a feeling to being someone, right? So the version of me, I mean, if you want to really understand it, you'll see, you can look through my different videos and you can tell when I am really on it. You can tell when I first started making videos and I kind of felt like, whoa, right? And so it's a matter of that's because it's about your state of being. So there is a whole physiological feeling because we have a mind-body connection. So I will talk to people and they will say, like, I'm doing all the visualization and nothing is happening. Well, first off, like I said, it's not like baking a cake. So it's not follow these steps and bang. It's law of correspondence. You need to become it. You as below, so above, or I think I got that backwards. Chris Duncan says, be it to see it. There are a lot of ways that you could say that. You don't create what you are, you create who you are, or you don't create what you want, you create who you are. And that is because we create from our state of being. So it's important to recognize this because I don't mean don't do your visualizations, because visualizations, like, can I ever make a video and not stumble over my tongue? So visualizations are really useful because they allow your body to begin to get really familiar with something that may not be familiar to you. So I remember hearing Brendan Bouchard talk about how he was always really nervous in public. So I think he said for like, I can't remember how many years he said, but every morning before he would get out of bed, he would visualize himself speaking in front of a large audience of people. And his whole body, like, he would feel the nervousness, and he practiced it and practiced it and practiced it in his mind and in his body, right? It's a feeling thing until it felt natural. And so that's what visualization does. It's actually also been shown to help you create new, like, memories. Basically, you're remembering something that's never happened. And so if you're doing the visualizations and you're thinking that they're just going to pop into place for you, then you might feel frustrated. I know I've used visualizations to create contact, but that's something maybe I'll talk about in a different video because I don't want to get too off topic. So another thing that I hear people say is that, like, they're doing the affirmations, they're doing the visualization, they're really calm and they feel really great all the time, but things aren't changing or things aren't going the way they want. So they're doing all the work. Why isn't it working? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because the actual work to manifesting, aside from really feeling like the person who has it already, is to be able to shift. So say you are, your partner shows up and they are in a horrendous mood and they're taking it out on you. So are you going to get hooked by that and then kind of get pretty much pulled into their field and now you're in that creation? Or are you going to emotionally center yourself, and shift. And now you want to tell another story from there, because that gives you the opportunity to change that circumstance. And if you are practiced with this, then you can actually change it in the moment. And chances are good, if you're practiced with this, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. So this is a thing that I did. I'd been creating for a while, and it was my anniversary. And because my husband works out of town, my daughters and I took them to go see him. So he had ordered sushi, and my oldest daughter, she doesn't really like it. So she cried and made a big fuss, and that annoyed him. And so then he told her, like, you need to eat it. And they kind of got into like an argument. And so in that moment, my natural inclination would have been to step in and play mama bear. And now that's just going to make everything worse. So instead of doing that, I noticed the feeling that I have inside, and I moved into neutral space, right? In monastic traditions, they say that neutral space dissolves reality. And the reason is because in neutral space, you're giving it no meaning. And so I moved into neutral space, and because the incident has already happened, there's nothing I'm going to do about that. But every moment is the chance to choose again or to choose new. So I, like I said, moved myself into a really calm space, not getting emotionally triggered by this circumstance. And then I decided that the best case scenario here was that I wanted this to actually bring them together. So that's what I decided. That's the story I told. Now, if I had from an angsty or anxiety or angry place told that story, their little thing between them would have continued, because it's the centering yourself emotionally that is one of the most important parts of this. And so this is the work. And so I centered myself, and then I decided this is going to bring them together. And literally within less than 2 minutes, he said, I'm really sorry. When I was a kid, my dad always used to make me sit there and eat everything on my plate, no matter whether I liked it or not. And I'm sorry, I don't want to do that to you. And so it shifted the trajectory of that circumstance. And so if you can begin to shift and change your life if you really understand that it doesn't matter how calm you are before and how calm you are after. I mean, that's great, because you are kind of setting your conditioning, you're changing your conditioning, but the actual work is really being able to shift in the moment. So I like to look at manifesting using this little analogy, so that you understand what the actual real important work is. If you don't want to see something repeatedly, you need to begin to respond differently to it. Okay, so you want to be able to shift. If you don't want to see something, you have to be able to move through the circumstance, calm yourself internally, and that's right, and tell a new story. That's the work right there. If you never do another visualization again, if you can do those steps, you're golden. If you never say another affirmation, if you never do any more scripting, I don't care what you do, that is the work. All the rest of the things are really just tending the soil so you can do that work. So like I said, I like to think of this, I like to use this analogy. So you're at a restaurant with a group of people. And the waiter, so it's a restaurant you frequently come to. And so you have a usual order, and the waiter is really, really busy and doesn't bring you the thing that you ordered this time, which is different. They bring you the old thing that you normally order, and you don't want that. So you have 3 choices. You can freak out at the waiter and risk getting your next meal spit in, or you can angrily eat your meal complaining, this isn't what I wanted. Or you can simply say, from a really calm place, actually, I have, and then hold space for that to come to you. That is the real work, right? Manifesting is a group meal. So you want to be able to build the skills to move through those uncomfortable moments, to be able to center yourself emotionally, to be able to notice the stories and change them. Because that's how we change people, that's how we change circumstances, that's how we really change anything. And the better you are at it, plus you need to know that you create. That is the one and only belief you really actually need to have. Nothing else matters. Once you really recognize, and I suggest doing that by actually creating a foundation of evidence, right? Because the fastest way to really create new stable beliefs is through evidence. And so you want to really establish the fact that you create, because this is your truth. It's only from a limited perspective that you think you don't. And so in order, the real work of creating, it's just being able to move. When you see something you don't want, center yourself and tell a new story. And when those are the only tools you need. And you want to create something specific and you're struggling to do that, or you're getting consistently like hot and cold, like oscillating results, then you want to be able to learn this trick, because this is what's going to change things for you. I have changed all sorts of things that are supposed to be not possible by simply being able to neutralize my emotions and tell another story. That's the work. If you're going to focus on anything, that's the work. And so don't be frustrated feeling that you're doing all the work and seeing no results, because the reality is shifting in the moment is the work. And so if you're struggling to notice your unsupportive perceptions or to get yourself into the right focus, because focus is important, what you focus on creates your reality. So if you are struggling to get into the right focus or stay in the right focus, or to stabilize your emotions or notice your limited perceptions, I have a program that helps you become the person that has it, that helps you recognize that you are limitless. The link is in the description. So until then, or until next time, live as though you can't fail, because literally you are limitless.